Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. Okay, my editorial today is about two leaders, the Prime Minister of India who spoke today and the Congress MP Mr. Rahul Gandhi who spoke yesterday. I am going to talk about two speeches that happened in the Lok Sabha and what exactly did it communicate to the nation. That's my topic for the day. Let's get right into the show. Okay, let's first talk about Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi, the senior Congress leader, Congress MP, Lok Sabha MP that is, and Rahul Gandhi who became very popular after his Bharat Jodo Yatra walk from Kanyakumari to Kashmir. Okay, now there are a few things that Rahul Gandhi said. We will first go through what he said, then I will put in my point of view. Then we will go through what Prime Minister Narendra Modi said and I will put my point of view. Then we will spend 2 minutes to conclude the entire editorial. So that's the way we'll go about it. And let's start with Rahul Gandhi. Now, Rahul Gandhi made a couple of statements. See, it is very unfortunate that both these leaders spend more time in pulling each other down or each other's party down. It was not a constructive speech. Both did not give a constructive speech. India never benefited from whatever they said because they were only pulling each other down and showing how small, condescending each other. That was all that these two gentlemen were doing. So it is indeed sad. With that, let me start with what Rahul Gandhi said. During his speech, Rahul Gandhi questioned how Adani's net worth increased from 8 billion to 140 billion between 2014 and 2022. Valid question. How did it be? Now, there are two things to it. The point is, if an Indian wealth creator's wealth doubles or triples between 2014 to 2022, Indians should be proud of it, technically speaking. We should be proud of it, saying that, oh, an Indian's wealth has increased so many folds. But the fact is, that is when you have a few wealth creators whose net worth has increased. But when you see that there is only one or two wealth creators whose net worth has increased from 2014 to 2022, then that doesn't make it a very good news, does it? Second point he made was, how many times have you traveled together in foreign trips? He was asking Narendra Modi as to how many times have you traveled with Adani to foreign trips. Now, what really happens? See, of all the points that he made, I'm just taking a few points and points that makes some difference to the nation. The reason I believe that this point does make a difference to the nation is because a prime minister seen in close proximity with a businessman is not good for the nation. A prime minister close to the businessman of the nation is very good because that's what a prime minister should be doing. A prime minister should be promoting wealth creators. A prime minister should be backing wealth creators, supporting wealth creators. Very good. But wealth creators, not a wealth creator. So Rahul Gandhi asked him that how many times have he traveled abroad with Adani. So that was possibly the reason or the gist of the question as to, why are you seen so close to just one particular business house and businessman. Okay. Like Rahul Gandhi said, one person, the Prime Minister focusing on one person or Prime Minister seen as favoring one businessman is not right. All that is correct. But let us be very clear, it is not just the Bharatiya Janata Party that was into crony capitalism. The Congress was equally into crony capitalism. The Congress too had their own favorites. So let that not be forgotten. And he also spoke about Mumbai airport that has been hijacked from GVK using agencies like CBI, ED and was given to Adani by the government of India. So he says, the way you took over Mumbai airport from GVK is by using ED, IT and ED, CBI, etc. and forcing GVK to give it to Adani. Now, GVK denied that. GVK says, ऐसा कुछ force नहीं हुआ है. But Rahul Gandhi says, no, this has happened. So that's Rahul Gandhi's point of view. And apart from this, Rahul also slammed the government over Agnipath scheme, claiming it is imposed on the army by the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh and the Ministry of Home Affairs. He said that on Agniveers, senior officers told us that it seems that the idea came from the RSS and was thrust on the army. They said, we are training thousands in weapons and then soon after they will become civilians amid high unemployment. The officers told me that Ajit Doval is the man behind the idea. These are the few questions that Rahul Gandhi raised, which I thought had some relevance, to whatever extent, to the nation. Rest, what he said, like I told you, was pulling the Prime Minister down and the BJP government down and so on and so forth, which has no relevance to the nation. So this is Rahul Gandhi. Now let's get into the Prime Minister's speech. Unfortunately, my next part, that is the Prime Minister's speech, also is the same. Nothing much relevant to the nation. He spoke about some of his achievements and he spoke about the failures of UPA government. This was the Prime Minister of India's speech. Now, let's get into some of the things he said. The country, he said, is extremely confident with the way it has moved forward amid a divided world and an unstable global environment. The zeal of 140 crore Indians is stronger than any challenge. Yet, some people are upset about all of this. They should introspect. Again, he was blaming it. He was talking about some people, I presume could be Rahul Gandhi and Congress, are upset and all that. He said, listen, you know what? We stood strong amongst a lot of global challenges. To a certain extent, what he said, I agree. We stood strong amongst a lot of global challenges. We, whatever, came through almost successfully out of COVID. We handled the global situations in the Ukraine and Russian war and so on and so forth. So we have fairly stood our grounds amongst a lot of a lot of global instability. That to an extent, I agree to him on this. He said reforms are happening not out of compulsions, they are happening out of conviction. Reforms are not happening out of compulsions, they are happening out of convictions. Looks to be a fantastic advertising line. Honestly, I could never understand this concept of compulsive reforms and reforms with conviction. I could never understand this concept. You see, reforms exactly means what? Reforms means doing something better. And when do you do something better? You do something better is when something is not as good as what you want it to be. When there is a situation where something that is not good, that the way you want it, that situation itself means that it is compulsion. What you have is not good, so you have to change. And in English language, if I understand, that is compulsion. It is not good, so I have no other option but to change. Now, he spoke about India's digital infrastructure has made some rapid strides. The world has taken notice of Digital India. There was a time when our country used to struggle even for the most basic technology. Now, I don't remember the time when India was struggling for basic technology and all. That I don't remember. But yes, what I would agree to him is that Digital India was a good program. It was a good scheme. One of the better schemes launched by the NDA government, launched by Bharatiya Janata Party. So it was a good scheme. It did well. And that is it. The global praise and all, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it did well for India. No doubt about it. The another thing he said is, again, it was aimed at UPA. But he said between 2004 and 2014, UPA turned every opportunity into a problem. When the world was making advancement in technology, they were stuck in 2G scam. Okay, now, very interestingly, the Prime Minister told a story. The story he said was of two youth who actually took their guns and went to hunt for a tiger, to kill a tiger. Tiger in this sense would be unemployment, would be poverty. So that is what he meant. So two youth went to kill a tiger, to hunt down a tiger. And They said, listen, anyway, we are going to kill the tiger. So let us, stroll around, let us kind of do some exercise and be fit. And then, we will go and then kill the tiger. So they kept the guns and they started walking. And when they were walking, the tiger came. When the tiger came, the guns were in the car. So that when the tiger came, they removed the license and they told the tiger, listen, you know what? I have the license. I have a gun also. See the license? Don't fight with me. I'll kill you. I will shoot you with my gun. This is what the story was. What he meant by that is, while UPA passed a lot of acts, it was not effective. It was like the license. They showed the act, but there was no execution of the act. Okay. Okay. But you know what? There is another story also. There is another story. There were two friends who went to hunt the tiger. Now these two friends said, hey, gun one nahi. I don't want gun, Baba. I have got 56 inches chest. I gun one and all who uses. I will go throttle the tiger. They went. Achha, when they went, the tiger came. Achha, when they actually saw the tiger, the two people, they almost... they started sweating. So they looked at the tiger and scooted from the place. When they scooted from the place, they went to the nearby village. So people came and asked them, "Arey, wo tiger ko mara? The tiger was killed." The leader of them, one of the two men said, "Of course, tiger mara. What do you mean? The tiger was coming in front of us. The tiger saw us and then he saw my 56 inches. The tiger saw us and the tiger ran away, and before running away, he told us, Baba, we are leaving this city, we are leaving this village, we are leaving this country, we are migrating because we have 56 inches. Just was too scary." This also is a story that I heard. Anyway, so the point that I am trying to make is, this tiger story was to say that, UPA was ineffective and NDA is very effective. So that was what the story meant. Well, I will leave that to your judgment as to who was effective and who was not, and to whatever extent. In my mind, the tiger still is there. Tiger, that is the unemployment, the poverty, was there during UPA time, and the same tiger who has now grown in size is still there in that particular forest. No hunter has ever gone and either killed it nor could control it. So this is my opinion. You decide what your opinion is. Now let us go to the next point he made. The next point he made was, between 2004 and 2014, it was a decade of scams in the history of independence. Maximum number of scams in the history of independence. I completely agree. Because between 2004 to 2014, you saw effective and responsible media. Media that had the guts to question the government, pick up scams, talk about the scams, make the scams public, take it to the people. There was media. There was media where you had the Prime Minister who was sitting there in the press conference, and the media had the guts to ask him the questions and he had the guts to answer the question. There was an investigative agencies, though most of them were still the same, nothing different. Even there, a lot of them were stooge. When they were asked to bend, they crawled. Even now, the scene is similar, but still there were investigations, and there were cases where even people in power were put behind bars. And the bars were not just meant, when I say bar, I mean jail, not the other bar, but the bars were not meant only for the opposition. You had even the ruling people, ruling party members, allies in the jail during that time. So punishment was more or less just. That also is there. While what he says is right, but this also needs to be added. And a few other things. He said that the voice of India was weakened so much that the world didn't even bother to hear our voice during 2004 to 2014. I don't know whether this is entirely true. I will agree to one thing for sure. Narendra Modi has made India quite popular. Narendra Modi has gone to a lot of countries, visited a lot of countries, and also have therefore spread the brand image of India to a certain extent. He has taken the brand to various countries. But to say that therefore before 2014 the world didn't know India, not really correct. Therefore, to say that before 2014 everybody used to look down on India, not really correct. After 1991, after 92, after the economic liberalization, the world took notice of India. And as life progressed, India's relevance in the economic forum in the globe became more and more relevant. The fact is, today in 2022, 2023, because we had the liberalization, because those reforms, economic reforms happened, we have really managed to swing ourselves up. We have really managed to make ourselves relevant. We have really managed to make ourselves a force to reckon with. But this didn't start in 2014. It didn't. It started long back. A lot of credit for that should go to the Narasimha Rao Manmohan Singh's government. A lot of credit for that should go to Vajpayee government. A lot of that credit should go to the Manmohan Singh government. It was their collective effort that got India to the position we are in today. But I will 100% give marks to Narendra Modi. He could magnify it, he could advertise it, he could propagate it, and he could publicize it much better than possibly what Manmohan Singh could do, or possibly what a Vajpayee or Narasimha Rao could do. He publicized it well. But it is not a single leader's effort. It has been a progressive thing. So this is the point I wanted to make. Till I see you next time. That's tomorrow at 10 p.m. Namaskar.
To know about the latest updates on our new news app, go on your Android or iOS, search for HW News Network. Download our app, choose the language you prefer to get updates in, and be up to date with the latest news.